What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Got a brand new card we're going to be talking about today from Japan's upcoming Night Unison set, Lieutenant Surge. Now, this card has the Pokemon community up in arms, and Twitter reactions have been pretty hilarious, ranging all the way from maniacal laughter to downright depression, and rightfully so. The supporter reads, "You may only play this card if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. You may play up to 3 supporter cards this turn, including Lieutenant Surge." In essence, Lieutenant Surge allows you to play 2 supporters during your turn, which is a wild effect. When you start thinking about the possibilities in Expanded and Zoroark and all that, it gets crazy. But double supporter effects are not something that's new to the Pokemon trading card game. In fact, they've been around for a while. In 2008, Jason Klasinski was able to win the World Championships with his Gardevoir Gallade deck. Gardevoir from Secret Wonders has an ability Telepass that allows you to search your opponent's discard pile once during your turn for a supporter card and use the effect of that supporter card that you find there as the effect of Gardevoir's ability, essentially allowing a double supporter usage during your turn. Similarly, in 2012, Igor Costa was able to win the World Championships with his Darkrai deck that featured a Smeargle from Undaunted. Smeargle's portrait ability allows you to search your opponent's hand when Smeargle is in the active position once during your turn and use the effect of a supporter card that you find in your opponent's hand as the effect of Smeargle's ability. This could create some very explosive early starts for Darkrai decks by finding cards like Juniper in your opponent's opening hand and then utilizing your own Juniper during your turn as your supporter for turn. More recently, Magnezone from Black and White's Plasma Storm has an ability Dual Brains that allows you to play 2 supporter cards during your turn. This card has seen some success at the regional level in combination with Zoroark as recently as this past year. So this is our closest point of reference when talking about Lieutenant Surge's usefulness in the current metagame. What sets Lieutenant Surge apart from the options that I've mentioned here already are the ease of which to play Lieutenant Surge and the variety of cards you can combo it with. Both Gardevoir and Smeargle are limited by the supporters that your opponent plays in their deck, and Dual Brains Magnezone is limited by the fact that it's pretty tough to get into play. The only limiting factor of Lieutenant Surge is the fact that you have to be behind a prize card in order to unlock your double supporter effect. Now, what's got everybody concerned about Lieutenant Surge are the possibilities in expanded format. Zoroark Control has already won 2 regional championships this year at the hands of Jimmy Pendarvis, and Lieutenant Surge just makes this deck better. You can get the Lieutenant Surge whenever you want with Zoroark Control, which will always go down in prizes first with Versus Seeker, and Versus Seeker in combo with Lieutenant Surge is just dangerous because it means you only need to play 1 copy of Lieutenant Surge in order to pretty much have access to it whenever you want throughout the course of the game. So you can easily draw into your Versus Seekers and your supporters with Zoroark's trade, then play Lieutenant Surge with Versus Seeker and combo off to play cards like Plumeria and N, or Acerola and Plumeria, or Plumeria and Guzma, or Plumeria and Plumeria, or Delinquent and Plumeria, or Ace Trainer and Delinquent, whatever, what have you. All of these super crazy supporters can all be played in one turn thanks to Lieutenant Surge, and you can easily get them all back into your deck with Lusamine and Resource Management Oranguru. So the possibilities in expanded format are pretty nuts, and the ease of which Lieutenant Surge can be played and incorporated into an already pretty busted deck. I mean, people were talking about banning double colorless energy or banning Zoroark and Expanded because it's already that good. Then to just take it to the next degree just seems pretty ridiculous. So people are rightfully concerned, and I really hope that Pokemon does something to kind of curb that degeneracy heading forward, whether it be just banning something as a part of that combination in order to keep that format healthy and moving along. Now, standard format format, things are much, much different, and I think that Lieutenant Surge could be a decent card for the game in standard format. It's not like that filthy, disgusting broken, though I do think it will still be very good, and I think that it will still be played in Zoroark decks, since Zoroark decks are going to have the highest amount of draw power to allow you to draw into the various supporter cards you're going to want to combo with Lieutenant Surge. In a regular deck in standard format, Lieutenant Surge is just kind of lackluster. Honestly, playing your one copy of Lieutenant Surge that you draw into, then you have to have like another supporter and another supporter to play. I'm not really that concerned if somebody plays Lieutenant Surge and then Cynthia's twice. I'm just really not. Even if you play Lieutenant Surge and then Cynthia and then Guzma, that's like not that big of a deal. If you play Lieutenant Surge and then Judge and then Guzma, that's fine. We already have all these effects in standard format anyway with cards like Marshadow that let you kind of judge and play other supporter effects in the same turn anyway. And honestly, deck building with Lieutenant Surge in standard format is going to be tougher as well. We don't have Versus Seeker in standard format, so that means that you can't just go fetch your Lieutenant Surge whenever you want to. And if you play like 2 or 3 copies of Lieutenant Surge in your deck just has like kind of all these dead cards that don't actually do anything, then unlock your ability to use 2 supporters. So you're going to have to just draw into your supporter cards better, or you're going to have to find a way to reuse your 1 copy of Lieutenant Surge. And really the only deck that can realistically do that is Zoroark GX, of course, since there is just a massive amount of draw power in standard Zoroark decks. They're going to be able to churn through their deck. They can play maybe 1 or 2 copies of Lieutenant Surge and still find other supporters on their turn, like Professor Kukui or Plumeria or Mars or Acerola or Judge. I do think that Lieutenant Surge will still be good when paired with Zoroark, but not completely broken in standard format because we don't have things like Propagate Execute. You can't Plumeria for free. If you want to double Plumeria in standard format, you're going to have to discard 4 cards from your hand, which is a lot in a Zoroark deck, which is already trading cards away to discard during their turn. That is a lot of cards to burn, and I don't think that people will be able to pull it off over and over and over again like they would be able to in expanded format. Also, once you use your copy of Lieutenant Surge in standard format, it's pretty much gone unless you Lucamine. So yes, you could Lieutenant Surge and Lucamine, then play 1 more supporter at the end of your turn, but that is a much slower strategy than in expanded format where you could just Versus Seeker for things back and get them wherever, however, and things are just much more expedited. Now you can still resource management, so Zoro Control is still very much a possibility in standard format. You could get to the end of your deck, resource management things back into your deck, and then just keep throwing the Lieutenant Surge back in there and keep getting like Plumeria, Guzma, whatever, back into your hand every single turn, and that is, you know what, mildly concerning, but it takes a long time to get to that kind of end state where you only have a few cards left in your deck and you're drawing into those cards every turn. I think that really Lieutenant Surge will be most cool played in standard format when you're using like Professor Kukui. Doing Lieutenant Surge and double Professor Kukui in a Zoroark deck is super sweet. It allows Zoroark to hit numbers that it really couldn't hit before. Allowing you to hit like 200 damage in a turn is pretty nuts. Also just allowing you to casually hit, what, 120, 140, 160 with a choice band, that's 190. You can Lycanroc up whatever you want on your opponent's bench and double Kukui in the same turn, which is pretty awesome. Zoroark is going to love Lieutenant Surge in both standard and expanded format. It's just going to be probably a little too ridiculous in expanded format, but this is all speculation and we don't actually know where the metagame is going to be in the next couple of months. But one thing is for sure, double supporter usage has been very successful throughout the course of the trading card game history, winning 2 world championships. Will we see it win a 3rd this year, possibly combined with Zoroark GX? We'll certainly have to wait and see. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, check out the brand new Tricky Gym t-shirts and the Etsy store and Patreon stuff in the description below. You all rock. Have a great day. Peace.